I'm always getting asked if you can use our insulation underground. And I keep saying to everybody, yes, you can, but it needs to be protected. So I've come up with this solution to get your flow and returns where you want them, coming out of the ground to the heat pump. So all you'll need is the Primary Pro insulation, bond and seal, and the sleeves to make your own underground insulated pipework. Do it any length, short or long. And where they come out the ground, you can have them looking straight and neat on a customer's home or behind the heat pump. You could also use this with other pre-insulated pipework, so you can make the transitions from out of the ground look a lot neater behind the heat pump, or at the other end where it transitions out of the ground so it can go through into the property. As you can see here, we've got the insulation. Thermal conductivity on that is 0.35, so fantastic thermal conductivity, but we have to protect it, and we have to protect it for anything underground that could damage it. And that's what the plastic sleeving is for. The plastic sleeving will protect that, stop any moisture, stop anything getting in, but we also have to protect the pipework and the connections. And this is a video how to seal and how to make sure that no water can get into the connections on a 90 and a straight connection. So let's go through a 90. We've speeded it up a little bit. So getting that bond and seal inside between the pipe and the insulation is really important. So get some in there, get some onto the pipe, then put the bond and seal all around each joints, as you can see here. Then we'll squeeze the joints together, but please don't squeeze all the bond and seal out. And then we'll start to spread the extra that comes out to cap. And there's the joint, all bonded and sealed and capped and sealed in. Next, we'll put the two sleeves on. We've cut these at 45 degrees to make a 90. But you can cut it at 22.5 if you want to do a 45 or other angles. We're now going to put more bond and seal on because we want to seal the sleeve on to the insulation. So we're going to smear a load of bond and seal all the way around, and then when we put them both together, some will come out, but also some will stop in there. That will then stop any moisture or water getting into there. So as you can see, we're spreading it all around here, making sure you get into all the gaps. If you need any more, just put some more on. Then what we're going to do is we're going to join both of the plastic joints together like this. You can see the bond and seal now oozing out. Don't worry, just smear that round and make the joint. And then that is then ready to set, but we've not finished because that still needs to be sealed up with some quality tape, which we'll show you when we've made the straight joint now. Now this is how to do a straight joint. Same as an handle, get plenty of bond and seal inside between the insulation and the pipework. This will make like a secret seal inside as well. So you can see here plenty of bond and seal inside onto the pipework. Push it together. Yeah, wants more bond and seal inside there. And when you're pushing it together, as I keep saying, do not squeeze it tight so it pushes it all out, but just get it oozing out, as you can see here. And then what you're going to do is then cap it with the rest. If it wants any more on, just put some more on, but just cap it all the way around. More going on just to get the cap right. Also, not just capping, that can then be used to seal the plastic sleeving on to the insulation as well. So that's perfect. That's great. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the two sleeves on. So one on that side, and it's gone past the joint. As you can see, it's gone past the joint. And this one here, that would be your other side. We're just going to pull them away, but go past the joint. And then what we're going to do is add more bond and seal on. So that will then make the seal into the joint so there's no moisture or water can get inside that seal. But as we said, we're going to also then add the tape on, stopping any moisture or water getting in there. Loads more bond and seal. Please don't be stingy with the bond and seal. Just get as much as you can on. That'll make the seal inside and also set inside as well. Push it together, comes out, pull all that off, and all the way around. Once that's all the way around, then that is ready to then tape up the joint. We've used some OB1 extreme strength tape here, and that will give a perfect seal and also seal really well to our sleeving. So it's really simple to tape the joints. Just cut a piece of tape round, wrap it round, secure it round, and then just wrap as many times as you want and overlap it all the way across. So you can see here, putting 2 or 3 pieces of tape on, but no, pretty simple to do. And then that'll then give you that perfect seal around all the joints on straights and different angles like 45s and 90s. And there you go, there's a straight joint finished, and there's a 90 finished, all sealed with the bond and seal, taped up. So there's another scenario where you're not going to be able to slide the insulation together and also the sleeves together. And that's where you're putting 2 connections together with a socket. And as you can see here, there's the socket. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut the insulation, bond and seal it on, and also cut the sleeve in half, bond and seal that on, and then tape it up. So let's have a look how we do that. So this is speeded up a little bit. So bond and seal as you would do joints, get plenty inside them between the pipework and the insulation. Plenty in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our insulation that's been cut. That can go straight on top like that. And then more bond and seal in the joint. So get some bond and seal into that side, and then some bond and seal into the other side. There we go. Don't matter how much you put on, because then we're going to put the 2 sleeves on that we've cut. So bond and seal that on. Put it all the way around. There you go, around the way there. After this, we're going to get the sleeve that we've cut in half, and we're going to then bond and seal that and put that on top. So that's all done there, sealed up. Now we're going to get 1/2 of the sleeve that we've cut and get some bond and seal onto there. Plenty of bond and seal on, and then just put it all the way across. More bond and seal onto there, put that all onto there like that, and then that goes on, and then make sure you get plenty and even layer all the way across. And then we're going to stick that onto the top, making sure that we've got the halves the right, because sometimes you get one and it leaves a gap, but it doesn't matter if you leave a gap because you can bond and seal it, and then you're going to tape it anyway. So there we go, we put that one onto there, and then we're going to do exactly the same with the other half. Loads of bond and seal onto there. There we go, plenty of bond and seal on. I'll then seal it all up onto the insulation. Then push that onto there. And there will be a little gap, because obviously if you cut it, and all you do is just get bond and seal onto that, and then make sure it's even all the way around. Yeah, a bit more bond and seal onto there. Yeah, the 2 end joints, bond and seal onto the end joints as well. And then it's up to you after this. Once you've done this, do you want to leave it and let it set and then tape it, or do you want to tape it straight away? I've let this one set, and then all you do then is use as much of the tape as you want and seal all to the ends and make sure it's sealed all round. So I start with one onto a joint, doesn't matter if you just make them ripples there, you can see, just press it down, press it on, and then you can use as much as that as you want and just carry on going, taping it all on. If you've not got it on a stand like this, you can maybe tape it all the way around, but I've done this in bits just to show you, because you can see here I'm just getting it a bit stuck onto the board or onto the table on the bottom, so it may be easier when you are doing it on site to wrap it round on site. But this gives you an idea what you're doing. You're taping it all on and sealing it all up. So you've got three. So now you've got three forms of seal, really. You've got the insulation that's been sealed on. You've got all the joints that are sealed. You've got the bond and seal that's been put on to the sleeve that's cut, sealed that on, and then you've got the tape that's sealed in. So loads of different seals to stop the moisture getting in, and that'll be perfect underground. So you've got the hardness of the shell of the sleeve, and then what you've got then is the thermal insulation of the Primary Pro that's all waterproof as well. So we've got that, and then we've taped and sealed all the joints. Everything's perfect. So last piece onto here, as you can see, put another piece on there. You can see it's really hard when you've got to wrap it around like this, because you've got to get it round there, but you can see where it's rippled a bit. Just make sure that when you're doing it, you just press it on nice and firmly and let that set before you then put it into the ground. And there we go. There's a joint all done.